It is Monday, August 19th, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by 5 Hour Energy. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Tommy along for the ride as well. Hope everybody had an amazing baseball weekend. We certainly did because we had a chance to see each other Friday at Fanatics Fest in New York City. I didn't know what to expect. It was insane, Plouffe.
It was insane. I've never been to Comic-Con, so I didn't know, the venue or anything like that. But when we showed up and saw just the sheer magnitude of it and kind of like who was there, you read the list, but then you kind of see these guys and just see, the amount of people that showed up throughout the weekend. It was really cool. And here we are on center stage, dude. We had a 2-hour set on center stage.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So thank you to everyone that came up, all the kind words, all the people that were there to support us. It made, dude, we're grinding here a lot. We're grinding, putting out content. But then when you get face to face with fans and, they appreciate you, it kind of makes it all worth it.
Yeah, it was great. Then I flew back up there on Sunday, did a little reunion show with the Best Damn Sports Show period, which was really fun too. So, but it was nice to hear about, I still got a ton of comments about John Boy Media. So we appreciate all of your support. No question about it. Hopefully next year we'll be back at that thing, wherever it may be. New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, who knows where it's going to be.
Yes, I want to go back.
7th annual Little League Classic, Yankees and Tigers. Nobody will really remember the score, but why don't we roll how it finished?
Winning one at second. Swings and sends it to left. Dominguez got a good arm. They're going to wave him. A delay on the throw. He's safe.
Okay, you know what? It actually was the perfect way to wrap up Little League because that is the only time you're going to see big leaguers get super excited at the end of a game and they start acting like little leaguers. So a walk-off I thought was ideal.
I was watching that live. I couldn't believe that they sent him home right there.
Right.
Given the situation, I don't think Dominguez thought they were going to send him home either, hence the hesitation there. But yeah, it was a great game, and it was cool to see all the kids just, right in the front row. Like, how many times are those kids going to be able to sit front row watching these big leaguers and getting all the special treatment that they got? So very fun. And then I didn't know, I guess, I don't know, I didn't realize, I guess, that the two teams shake hands after the game.
Yes.
Dude, it was cool because in that atmosphere, they know it's coming. But can you imagine having to do that every single game? Oh,
no.
man.
I remember the first time it happened, and everybody was like, what are we doing here? But it was, whatever. I mean, it's Little League, so I get it.
Yeah.
It's one game out of 162. If memory serves me right, you haven't loved this event. Is that true?
I just really don't like any of the outside events. And
why?
I feel like they're all strange. The balls seem juiced in them, which is weird. And I think there are ways to do it. And I think they are important for the sport to go out and go to different countries and play ball and all this thing. I just think I don't know. I just haven't really got into it. Even the Field of Dreams game. I think this one for me, after having Carl Ravitch on our show and talking to him about it and just what it means to the little leaguers and seeing all the clips this year, and we're going to talk about, Jazz and the things that he was doing. I get it. Like, I could put myself in those kids' shoes and understand what it means to them. As a fan of the sport, I wasn't locked in because we're playing the Little League Classic. But I don't think it's for me. I think it's for the kids. So,
I love it.
Good job.
I love everything about it. Coinciding with Players Weekend, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I don't know if that's ideal or if it's genius. I haven't quite figured it out yet. But just the whole idea of the kids being on the buses with the players and the relay line and everything we saw, all I could imagine was being 12 years old and getting to sit next to Juan Soto or Aaron Judge or Giancarlo Stanton or Garrett Cole or anybody on the Tigers. Like, are you kidding
me? This
me?
is cool. This part of it's cool, Chris. I'm not going to sit here and hate on this whatsoever. I just, the games themselves, when they're played on different parks, just haven't done it for me. But I love this aspect of it. I mean, I agree. I remember seeing Brad Fulmer at the Northridge Little League batting cage. I couldn't believe I was seeing a big leaguer. I get it, dude. I understand. Being able to do this, ride the bus, First of all, relay lines are the best form of practice for kids. I love this. I don't know.
Well, I don't
Now
know
you're
how much
making me
I
emotional
don't know how
a
much
little
they're
bit.
getting out of that relay line, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, typically they're a little more spread out. But
Listen, and I love it that the players are kind of all in, and it's
yeah,
really important that they do buy in. I know it's a long day. They travel, they get there very early in the morning. And it's a long day, and they are professionals. They still have a game to play that does mean something in the standings and for their individual livelihood. So thank you for doing that, because it is a little bit of a sacrifice when you think about it, but it is for the greater good of the game. It is the day where kind of baseball can stand out and people could say, because they can't do this in other sports. You're not going to be riding next to Patrick Mahomes on the bus as he's about to go play one of 17 games. You're not going to sit next to Steph Curry or LeBron James as they're getting ready to play one of 82. That stuff's just not going to happen.
well, why not in basketball? I get football because it's 17.
Yeah, I
Basketball,
suppose you
82 is
could.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I suppose you could, but it doesn't. It doesn't. So let's
yeah.
take advantage of something that was created for this, that has been very, very good, very well received. The only thing I would say that is kind of a bummer is these minor league ballparks are so big that there just aren't enough home runs.
Huh.
Saying.
Didn't know. Yeah, well, they could just juice the ball like they do
Okay,
in every
then
other
let's
one.
do it.
Maybe I'm a hater because I never got to go on any of the cool
Maybe.
trips. Never got to
You
go
gotta
here.
clean it
Maybe
up
I'm
a
just
little
a
bit.
hater, Chris. Maybe clean it up, Trev. Come on now.
All right, so let's talk about it. Jazz Chisholm, still a little banged up. He did join the broadcast last night. He joined one of the Little League broadcasts as well and told us about his new buddy, Russ.
That's my guy, Russ. That's what I was saying. See, I told you. Me and Russ.
I saw you guys popping chains. Or...
Oh yeah, he was supposed to be wearing it all day, but he got he got scared. You know. See, there he is.
there you go.
He got scared. He was like, I can't lose this, so he gave it back. You know, but. Me and my guy Russ, man, we're gonna be rocking. I'm gonna make sure he gets to the big leagues one day, and I'm gonna definitely be behind him for his full journey. You know,
awesome.
Yeah, I kind of kept that promise to him. I told him that I'm gonna be your big brother from here, and I'm gonna make sure you get it.
First thing he did was teach him how to nap, which I thought was great. I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
Come on, Doc. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. Hey, I'm gonna say, Jazz, lean into this. This part of your personality, lean into this. This is what we like to see. I thought it's really cool. And again, we just talked about sitting next to a guy and being able to have a couple-minute conversation with him. But then Jazz took it to the next level and, you know, gave him the IG follow and said, I'm going to be your big bro. Like, this guy's never going to forget that, ever. So.
And not only that, Jazz said, I'm going to get him equipment when he needs it and stuff like that. Like, if you are fully all in, then that's great. I mean, you're talking about maybe changing a kid's life. Like, that's phenomenal. I hope it happens.
This is how you handle it, Jazz.
Yes.
A+.
I would agree with that. I'm curious, if Russ did lose that chain, how much do you think what do you think a chain's worth?
I don't really know.
I'm not a chain guy.
I feel like if I was going to be like a jewelry popping guy, which I do have my chain popped right now.
Yeah, you sure do.
If I was going to be a big jewelry guy, I'd get fake chains. I don't think Jazz has fake chains. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I would. Because then if you lose them, say, a couple $100.
Okay. Overall, great weekend. More on Players Weekend coming up in just a bit on the show. Dodgers took a series from the Cardinals in St. Louis. Clayton Kershaw delivered his longest outing of the season, lowered his ERA sub 2.7. Remember, first couple starts rough. Last few have been outstanding. Future Hall of Famer's 36 years old. He is coming back from his first surgery ever, shoulder surgery. Shouldn't we be more amazed by what he is doing than we are?
Aren't we amazed by Clayton Kershaw? I mean,
I don't think so.
Oh, well, I am. I mean, he's like our generation's lefty. I mean, he hasn't had, 2022, a 2.28, 2023, a 2.46, this year, 2.63. I mean, the guy is either in the high twos or the low twos or the low threes, like every single year of his career. He's an absolute beast, Chris.
Okay.
I mean, he's a surefire Hall of Famer. He comes back to the Dodgers. We mention this all the time on a very team-friendly contract. I expect this out of him. He's had to change, how he approaches hitters. He's like one of the guys that's had the longevity and the ability to become more of a quote unquote pitcher and make those adjustments later on in his career. Like, there's nothing not to love about Clayton Kershaw. I guess we're just used to it. I get the October stuff. The October stuff is real, people. Those are real statistics in October. But regular season, Clayton Kershaw is one of the most dominant pitchers we've ever seen in the game.
If you were to ask 100 baseball fans, what is the first thing you think of about Clayton Kershaw? What percentage say something positive and what percentage say something negative?
A lot of people remember October. I mean, look, he'll tell you himself. That's when it really counts.
But
When it really counts.
shouldn't we applaud people more? And this is just I think this is a societal issue that because we do look at so much through a negative lens. I mean, the guy had shoulder surgery. Nobody would have said if he had said, "Hey, listen, I'm tapping out. I've got my 4 kids and my wife at home in Dallas, Texas. I'm going to call it a career. I've accomplished everything I want. I don't want to do the rehab. I don't want to put through, I want to be a dad. I want to coach kids' teams." Like everybody would have been like, "Yeah, of course, we get it." So now that he has come back and now that he is doing it with less than mid to high 90 stuff, like he is such a different pitcher than when we first
he's a
saw him.
slider guy now. It's a slider.
And he doesn't put up big strikeout numbers. Like a big strikeout day for him is 5 or 6. He got 2, I think, yesterday.
I mean, do I have to remind people? 3 Cy Youngs, an MVP. He's been an All-Star 10 times, won the World Series in 2020, even has a Gold Glove to boot. ERA title 5 different times. I mean, this guy's an 80 career WAR. Like he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, maybe a unanimous. Like it's nuts.
And you know what people are going to remember about last season? None of those numbers. They're going to remember him sitting on the bench, hands through his hair, no hat on, wondering, how the hell did I not make it out of the first inning against the Arizona Diamondbacks after giving up 6 runs? And I don't know, man.
Okay. Look, I think it's okay for people to think about that. I mean, it's true. All this has happened, Chris. He has not had success in the postseason, bottom line. Like he's been much more successful during the regular season. I think you can have both thoughts in your head. Like this guy is one of the most dominant pitchers we've ever seen, but he struggled in the postseason because that's the reality of it.
So how much does his narrative change? And we still have a few months before this talk even happens. But let's say the Dodgers do go on a run, whether they win it all or make the World Series or whatever, and Kershaw pitches great. Does that change things for him?
I think so. I mean, it depends on what he does, Chris. He'd have to be pretty dang dominant for them to really change the complete narrative. But if you walk out into the sunset with a great postseason under your belt, I think that's kind of the lasting image people will have. I mean, this guy's done 194 innings in the postseason, dude.
That's a season's full.
It's a season's full. He's got a 4.49. So, I mean, he's had some bad blow-ups, but let's not act like this guy. I mean, 4.49 is, it's not a 2 whatever he has during the regular season, but it's not exactly crazy bad either. He's had some bad.
Not good, but he's had some memorable.
He's had some memorably bad appearances. 100%.
Yep.
So I think it's okay for people to think about that because it is what's happened. But if you're asking me, like, if he goes out there and leads the Dodgers to the World Series, has 3 or 4 good starts where he doesn't give up a run, let's say he goes shutty this entire postseason. I think people will, the blow will be lessened significantly in how people remember him if he does that. So he has a chance to do it, I think.
Very interesting. Hey, we want to thank SeatGeek for helping us out with today's video. Baseball season, here we are. We've got like less than 2 months to go. And, of course, all these games matter. So you're going to want to go see them in person. And SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of the MLB, is the best place to buy tickets. They rate every ticket on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, they color code the seats. So look for those green dots. Green dot, good. Red dot, bad. Now, you might look and you say, okay, well, wait, there's a red dot on a seat right behind the dugout. How in the world could that be bad for me? Because SeatGeek is trying to look out for the best deal for you. Is it worth exactly what you're about to pay? That's the key. Anybody can say, oh, yeah, I want to go sit behind the dugout, but how much money you really want to shell out here? SeatGeek is looking out for you and your wallet. And everybody can use the code TODAY10 for 10% off any tickets on SeatGeek, whether you're a brand new customer or not. So no matter how many times you bought tickets, use SeatGeek before, TODAY10 is going to get 10% off your next order. So go grab your phone, open the SeatGeek app. If you don't have it, download it today. add the code TODAY10 to your account. So what in the world are you waiting for? Do it now because this offer is only available for a limited time. Once again, the code is TODAY10 for 10% off of your next order. We will see you soon at a game near you. A pair of playoff hopefuls had very different weekends in each league. The Royals, they crowned the Reds in the Queen City thanks to a 3-game sweep. Boy, I put the old whammy on the Reds. I talked them up, and then they go out and get clubbed by Kansas City. Meanwhile, Arizona Diamondbacks, a weekend to forget down there in the Tampa-St. Pete area as they lost all 3. Which club, Kansas City or Arizona, is a more serious playoff threat for you?
I know the results are, drastically different for these two clubs. Although Arizona, they had a chance to win 2 of those games. Showed some grit and some resiliency in the first and third games. Corbin Carroll with a massive bomb in game 1. They get walked off, whatever. I still think I'm taking the Diamondbacks, and Kansas City's been playing amazing baseball. I didn't get a chance to check this, but that's the run differential in that series against the Reds must have been the highest of any run differential
Brutal
of a season.
It was brutal
because they went out and absolutely destroyed the Reds. I will say this. I think they're pretty close, but to me, I think there's less holes with the Diamondbacks, and that's assuming Ketel Marte is still able to play and is still performing the way he's performed all year long. Because him and Bobby Witt Jr., I mean, those are 2 MVP candidates, so you kind of like take those. I know maybe not necessarily cancel each other out, but you could make that argument. So to me, it goes the pitching for the Royals has been better. The starting pitching has been better most of the year, but now the Diamondbacks are getting fully healthy, and I think those are kind of comparable as well. So then it goes to the bullpens. Both teams made adjustments at the trade deadline, but I think if I'm looking at the bullpens, I would take the Diamondbacks bullpen over the Royals bullpen. So I think the lineup might be a little bit longer, and I think the bullpen might be a little bit better. So I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks here. And that's not me being an AL Central guy and wishing the Royals bad. I think they're a very good team. I just think objectively, if you look, I think the Diamondbacks have a more complete roster.
Hey, listen, you don't have to defend your stance on everything.
I do.
Although I will say this, Vinny Pasquantino is going to see this clip and he's going to be like, hater. He's just having fun with you. And the other thing for Arizona, guy we haven't mentioned in a while because he's been on the shelf, is Christian Walker. He was having such a good year.
Yeah.
And it really should have been an all-star. Hopefully he's back from that oblique injury at some point in the near future. I'm going to say the Kansas City Royals. I love what they did at the deadline because I felt like their only void was in the bullpen. Hunter Harvey has not been good for them, but Lucas Erceg, not only has he hasn't given up a run in his 9 appearances, and he's now taken over the closer's role, which is smart. Now, I would actually say...
What do you mean it's smart? Letting the guy that doesn't give runs be your closer? Yeah, it is smart.
Yeah, but you've had a guy who's got almost 20 saves. Now, he has not pitched well. So I think it obviously is a little bit easier to put in a new guy. It's not like Erceg's got great history as a closer. That's my point. I mean, you're kind of... So this is my big point here, and it's taking me a while to get there. I think the Royals can be this year's version of the Diamondbacks. I really believe it. I think they can.
I mean, but the Diamondbacks are the Diamondbacks.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, you kind of watch them. All right, yeah, they've been good. Nobody's going to pick them to go to the World Series is my point. Even if they make the playoffs, nobody's going to pick them. But their top 4 starters, all of them have an ERA of 3.33 or better. Mm-hmm. All of them. They have all pitched exceptionally well, and they've been remarkably consistent. They trade for a guy who can now hopefully fortify the back end of their bullpen. Last year it was Paul Sewald in Arizona, who, this is the difference, he had been a very successful closer in Seattle for a few years before getting traded to Arizona. Lucas Erceg, they're like, you and your 5 career saves, you're our dude right now. Both of them had MVP candidates last year, Corbin Carroll, this year, Bobby Witt. So it feels like there's something interesting going on there.
I agree. I think they're very close. I think
they are.
The Diamondbacks probably probably a little bit, a little longer, a little bit better for me.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. I would agree with
Starting
that.
pitching, the numbers are going to talk about the Royals for sure, but I think that's a lot because we haven't had the full slate of pitchers for the Diamondbacks as well. So if those guys can kind of come and be who they are, I think they're pretty close.
I think that's all fair. The Royals are actually just 3 back in the American League Central thanks to their sweep and Milwaukee taking care of Cleveland in a really interesting pitching-dominated series. Brewers swept the series. We think that they outscored Cleveland 9-4 in 3 games.
Yes.
9-4.
I'll get it up right now. I have it, our sheet in front of us, but I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, it was. I think Cleveland got like 10 hits total. That's what it
5-3, 2-1, 2-0, so 9-4.
Woo! Good for the Brewers.
And I don't know if this is facts, but I think it seemed like during the series, I don't think either bullpen gave up a run.
Even if it's not facts, just say it because that sounds freaking awesome. If that's true.
Let's see. Gavin Williams gave up 5 runs. Okay, so Milwaukee's bullpen gave up some runs in the first.
Oh yeah, they did because Jose took them deep
in the first game. They did,
and David Fry clicked them too. I think that was all off the bullpen. But point's well taken. Anyway, big picture here: the Brewers 72-52, 20 games over 500, an 11-game lead for a team that traded away its ace, lost its manager, the whole bit. Is Pat Murphy going to be the biggest runaway winner of any of the major postseason awards?
He's going to win National League Manager of the Year. If that's what you're asking, you can lock that up for sure. I know that Stephen Vogt is the leading favorite there. He's got some competition, like Alex Quatraro, the manager of the Royals, has to be in contention. But I think Stephen Vogt's also going to win Manager of the Year, which is awesome for him. My guy, your guy. Judge winning American League MVP. I think that's pretty locked up too.
So let's play. Hold on. Murphy's got no competition in the National League.
Competition.
0. So he's going to be a unanimous selection.
And you're talking Bobby Witt nipping at the heels of Aaron Judge. I still don't think it's going to be close in overall. You can argue as good as Bobby Witt's been and all these things, I think Aaron Judge is going to run away with that award. But so I guess to answer your question, yes. If you're saying Manager of the Year is a major award, I will say it is the most locked of the year.
Did you really just do that? You are so mean.
Name the last 5 managers of the year. Thank you. I rest my case.
Okay. All right. That was good.
Answer
Who was
your
it
question.
last year? American League. It was
Bruce
Brandon
Bochy.
Hyde. Brandon Hyde last year.
Brandon Hyde makes sense.
Year before, I think it was Terry Francona for like the 19th time. I understand. Like, we don't remember it as much. You don't care. Okay. Yes, he's going to be, I imagine, the lone guy who wins it unanimously, any award. I will say that Tarek Skubal is getting close.
Yeah.
Did you see Judge's praise of him? He was like, ever since that guy came back from injury at the end of 2023, he said he's been a different animal, basically. So I hope that Emmanuel Clase gets some first place votes, but I'm not so sure that'll happen. I think Skubal's going to run away. So we could have
a minus 1450 lock to win the AL MVP. Bobby Witt Jr. plus 600.
What is
everybody else's?
What's Skubal?
I'm not there yet. Let me get it.
Come on, man. Bookmark this stuff.
Hold on, man. Okay. AL Cy Young odds. Skubal minus 1900, minus 2500 at one book, and then it's Corbin Burns plus 1000. Then after that, it's Clase at plus 4500. So yeah, I mean Skubal's locking it up. And Chris Sale is close to doing it too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Best part of Players Weekend. Let's show a bunch of things here. This is Jackson Merrill's lightsaber bat. This thing was incredible.
Like that. Like all the bats. The bats are fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't know it did that.
Bobby Witt. It's got the interesting smile going, but it, cool bat.
What's wrong with that smile?
Nothing. He looked happy. There he is. Looked happy.
Got a mullet. Love that.
I don't know if he's got a lipper in. That's the thing. I love all these bats. I thought they were great. Some of the pencil bats kind of freak me out when they're up there holding them.
It does look weird. It looks like AI. Like
yeah.
I've seen all these AI videos going around the internet. I'm so out on AI. It scares me so much.
Yeah. Bryce Harper's got his.
Okay.
Love it. All the cleats were great. Scooble with the Scooby-Doo.
Oh God, I knew that was coming.
Why? What's the matter with that? I love all the colors. And why do we get rid of the jerseys, by the way, with the nicknames on them? Because
I think people made fun of them so much. They finally just said we're done.
I thought it was a cost thing. Francisco Lindor's glove.
Gucci.
God almighty. That is.
I like that movie House of Gucci.
Yeah, sure. You have a favorite moment?
I did, and it's my buddy Jack Flaherty. When he got traded over, his mom showed a picture of him wearing this hat when he was like a baby, and there it is. And the Dodgers were like, you know what? We're going to get you that hat again. So they made it for him, and he was pretty blown away by it. I asked him about it. He said it was really cool, man. And another reason I really like it is because it celebrates the Dodgers' 5 straight Rookies of the Year. And that's like when it's probably the only time I've like been a fan of a Major League Baseball team where like I didn't work for the team or whatever. And I had this question to you.
Mm-hmm.
5 straight Rookies of the Year.
Yeah.
You got 4 of them.
I know.
It was Nomo, Queiroz, Mike Piazza,
Raul
Mondesi, and the 5th one. I know it. Do you
I know. I know I'm going to kick myself because I can see exactly who it is, but I don't know. I don't remember.
I dapped this guy up. He was doing radio during spring training. I was like, bro, I love you. Like, I know the history and all these things. I was a big fan. Todd Hollandsworth.
God dang it.
I love that I knew something that you didn't know.
Oh, that's amazing.
Big part of the show.
Because I told you exactly like the type of player he was. And
he was an outfielder.
Yeah. I love Players Weekend. I think it's fun. Unfortunately, like this is the weekend, obviously, because of travel and football commitments. It's the least amount of baseball I've watched all year, which really sucks. But I'll be back at it again now. Locked and loaded almost. Almost. We are back at it again tomorrow. If you can, everybody, listen to Plouffe's call the next few days of the Twins games
the Padres.
against the San Diego Padres. That, by the way, have you called a game down there?
No.
That place rocks, even during the week.
I'm excited. Very excited.
Petco, they do a great job of putting on a show down there. That is a fun. If people haven't been to that ballpark, if you have a chance to go visit Southern California, I know that like the summer's closing shop and kids are going back to school. Put it on your calendar. Like if your team goes out there next summer, go make a trip. The city's fantastic and the ballpark experience is great.
We were talking if the playoffs started today, the Padres would be hosting the Diamondbacks for a 3-game set, 3 in a row, all down there. How freaking electric would that be?
That would be great. Well worth a trip. All right. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our amazing intern, Tommy Young, that is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Tuesday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by 5 Hour Energy.